broadcasting live from a secret bunker deep below the surface of the moon. This is Brainworms, the podcast where we hate books and we hate you. I'm Joe.
I'm David.
And I'm Chris.
And we also have, if you remember from last episode, the semi-functional clone of David that we created to take his place.
I have a name!
We tried to chase him out of the studio with brooms and boiling water, and he just won't leave.
I have a name. My name is Kaine.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
Whatever, not David.
Not David. We can't get him out of here, so he's in the studio.
He's involved.
If you had made me proper legs, maybe I could have left the studio. All right?
I just think it's creepy the way you skitter up the wall every time we come at you with a broom.
It's weird.
And you should be thankful we gave you stumps. You know, we could have given you nothing at all.
I wanted to just duct tape you to an office chair, but David said that was inhumane and we shouldn't do it.
And the skateboard didn't work.
And the skateboard did not work. That
No.
was just fell off. It was a bad time.
On a completely different note, there was a person, like from I believe from a foreign country, who
Tony
had
Hawk.
No.
Really?
What? No.
Tony Hawk is he from like Skateland or something?
I just thought you were going to ask about a skateboarder. Go ahead.
No. It was just some guy. I don't recall if he was born without legs or if he had them taken off in a terrible accident. But he just got around on a skateboard, and he was like very upbeat and cheerful and like very successful in terms of people being charitable and giving him money.
I have no idea. I don't know.
There was a guy was in Clifton that had lost both his legs, and he used to carry a sign around in his wheelchair, and it just said, "Give me money or I'll kick you in the face."
That's great.
That's pretty good.
And I always gave him money.
I mean, there's that guy in the movie Kids, too, but the less spoken of that, probably.
I was about to say, let's not talk about the movie Kids. We're going to move on.
Yeah, let's do that.
What the fuck? We're delving back into the world of the Worlds of Power novelization of Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest.
Jesus, I did not fight my way out of the ice in Canada for this.
You know, you completed your mission. Now you have to complete this one.
Like, don't make not David more desirable than you by being a bitch. Come on.
I have a name, all right?
Okay, not David.
Yeah, not David did your job very impressively. So, if you want to go down that road,
there was a discussion about us fighting to the death.
I just think that would be funny to watch.
Shirtless.
You were going to give me a shirt?
I would also like the fight to be done on the moving spike platform from Flash Gordon.
I was thinking like arms tied at the wrist, kind of knife fight situation, but I like your way too.
I support this. You know, we can tie a knife to his stump, and we'll just it's fair. It's
oh my
equitable.
God! You just gave me a brilliant idea.
I've already chewed digits. I have somewhat like finger-like, flangey-like objects.
That's gross.
Well, you didn't give me much option. All right.
Well, clearly we're not professional clone scientists, and we did what we could.
Well, we will be professional clone scientists when we perform my idea, which is we nix off not David, we recreate him, but we give him knives for limbs.
I feel like that's just going to turn on us.
Yeah, he's just going to go mad and kill us all. We're very confined on our moon base studio that we now have, I've decided. and that's how Cronenberg movies start, and none of us want that.
I have fingers now.
It'll be fine if we keep him in a basket and carry him around in a basket.
Like Master Blaster.
No, like basket case, you dipshit.
That was a terrible movie, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
That's an amazing, terrible movie.
It is an amazing, terrible movie.
We should talk about Castlevania.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why don't you read chapter 6?
Hold on, we're not there yet. This is why you're a bad David clone. David knows when the show's supposed to start.
Oh.
Not David.
I have a name.
But yes, Castlevania, in which what we assume to be a teenage boy written by a 40-year-old man who doesn't know what children talk or act like in the early 90s was transported to the realm of Castlevania, in which he
promptly
acted
was eaten by vampires.
No, surprisingly, we were disappointed by that too. Wow, the two of you are so alike. But he proceeded to act like a total jackass
and not go into a diabetic coma.
And just eat his own way. This child has two character traits. He really likes video games, and he loves fucking chocolate to the point that it's self-destructive.
Absolutely.
And to the point that he stashes it away in hidden areas in his room.
And when he was told by whichever Belmont this is... Simon, right. I'm taking you to Castlevania because you're the key to defeating Dracula, which is a mystery on its own. Apparently, I mean, the Belmonts are idiots. That's just lore.
It's because he's an ace Castlevania player.
Right, because he's good at the video game, and apparently Simon Belmont is aware of that. So he stuffed a laundry bag full of Reese's Pieces and Kit Kat bars.
Don't forget the Hershey Big Block.
And the Hershey Big Block, which I assume was a real product in the late 80s, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and of all the things that they could take to Castlevania, like, oh man, you need me to kill Dracula? Let's go get like a gun. And then we'll go.
Right.
Well, I mean, even if you just apply normal vampire rules, like grab some, a super soaker, those existed then, and fill it with holy water, or any number of vampire weapons that he could have acquired to take with him. There was no space in the laundry bag for those weapons because it was filled with Willy Wonka Dream. That's exactly what it was.
And they get to Castlevania, and he just immediately begins eating it. Like, he's not saving it for like when he's hungry.
Just Dracula shows up, and this kid's just spitting Reese's Pieces into Dracula's goddamn face. Because with no hesitation, he just started devouring candy.
So his plan is basically to replace his bloodstream with chocolate and make him less appealing to the vampire.
One can only assume. So that's where we are. If you like this show and you want to be personally responsible for it and all of its contents, if that's a burden that you want to take on, we'd love to have you over on our Patreon. That's what keeps the show going and buys us illegal clone farms. And $50 donators get a free David clone. You could even have this one if you want it.
I have a name.
Whatever, not David.
All right, let's go.
Chapter 6. The 7 Deadly Sins. Tim Bradley took a drink of the hot cocoa he'd mixed over the hearth fire of the Heart and Soul Tavern.
He just stuffed Swiss Miss into his pants.
So what now, Simon? He said, leaning back into the chair, feeling much better here in the soft shadows of this comfortable inn. The chubby, red-nosed innkeeper, a fellow by the name of Peterson, had treated them to a filling meal of cheese, bread, and fruit. He'd also packed a nice backpack for Simon as well.
Those food items sound like they would be very expensive.
They also sound like they're not chocolate.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in a land of perpetual darkness like Castlevania, any kind of dairy products or produce, would be really hard to get hold of. But what do I know?
Yeah, fruit particularly, like bread I could see. Cheese, they sometimes make cheese in caves. But
most milk-bearing animals eat grass.
It's true. But, I mean, this gets into the fact that if you have a vampire lord, that vampire lord does have something of a responsibility to make sure that his food has food.
That's true.
So
like once every so he'll look up at the sky and go, "Clouds, open up a hole in the clouds," and a little ray of sun will come in and keep the grass from dying.
You guys said I'm the clone?
Let's move on.
He'd also packed a nice backpack for Simon as well. Doubtless they would get hungry during their quest, and even Tim had to admit he couldn't live on chocolate alone.
I feel like that's progress.
Yeah.
We're getting somewhere. The therapy is working.
Simon just keeps punching him in the mouth every time he tries to eat chocolate. Now he's just tired of it.
Now we rest, said Simon, munching on an apple. We rest and we wait until nightfall.
But why?
Tim spluttered on his milk. What? Wait until nightfall? I mean, isn't it dark enough? Can't we start, like, tomorrow morning when that joke of a sun comes back out? Simon shook his head. First, we need rest, but not that much rest. Second, we need energy. Have a chocolate bar.
Oh my god, Tim.
No, not that sort of energy, Timothy. Magical energy. For you see, at night, wraith ghouls emerge from their damp holes.
I'll emerge from your damn hole.
Thank you. He held up his thorn whip. Linda has told me that if I dispatch them with this whip into the dimension from which they came, they will leave behind the energy that animates them, and I, and you, will be able to absorb that energy.
Okay, real quick. I don't know. So I'm asking you guys. Is it like you don't want to do this when you basically spell out what the rest of the chapter is going to be about at the beginning of the chapter, and then the rest of the chapter is just doing what the characters said that they're going to do?
No, this book is written for 9-year-olds.
Yeah, Chris, in general, and, you know, I feel like you need to come to sort of understand that the nature of the things that we're reading, the answer to that question is always going to be yes. This is something you should not do.
I just wanted to make sure that was a valid criticism.
Yeah, like I'm softly willing to excuse the book because it's written for actual children, but no, don't write like that.
Ghouls, huh? Tim shuddered. So then, what's next after that? You simply follow me. I have been given some clues as to the locations of the body pieces of Dracula. However, we must obtain other magical items to aid us on our quest, along with the assistance from the townspeople, priests, and others. However, we must be very careful, for the power of Dracula is such that these people may tell us lies. Somehow we must verify their truth or untruth.
It's just the plot of Castlevania 2, isn't it?
Yep,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how does Tim not know any of this? Like, considering he's...
Because Castlevania 2 hasn't been released yet.
Oh, right, I forgot. You told us that last episode, right?
Yeah, he's been playing the shit out of Konami's original Castlevania, but he has not played 2 yet. So he doesn't know that the townspeople will give you false information so you die.
Gotcha.
Although discovering that organically as part of the story might have been a little better than just spelling it out.
Yeah, well, you know, this is, again, this entire series, these Worlds of Power books, are sort of like backhanded strategy guides of a sort. So, I mean, they're just, you read the book and then you know how to play the game,
Sure.
I guess, was the idea. But very clunky.
Yeah.
Like, what, did they expect you to be exposed to it first from the books and then go play the game? Or, like...
I guess so.
I don't think Nintendo really gave a shit.
Right.
Yeah, no. Nintendo, the makers of the video games were very hands-off. To the extent that they didn't give the Worlds of Power team any kind of information about the series. And we get into this in the first Worlds of Power book that we did a little bit. They just signed the check and said, yeah, do what you want. This is fine. Because Scholastic was a reputable publisher. So the writers of these books just had to speed run the games and then write the best book they can.
How much you want to bet Nintendo didn't even give, like, the writing team Nintendos and the games? Like, no, you have to buy those
No,
yourself.
I don't think they did.
Oh my god.
I can't imagine they would have.
It's like such a terrible thing to do.
Somehow we must verify their truth or untruth. Perhaps me might find a magical tool to allow us to do so. It actually, it's got to be a typo, but it says perhaps me might find.
Me might find magical tool.
I really I'm enjoying the idea of Simon Belmont as perhaps me might find magic tool.
You are a magic tool, Simon Belmont.
He is a magic tool.
And he sucks at jumping. His whole fucking family sucks at jumping.
Well, at least
that is not David.
They get. Wow, that's just cruel. But my upper body strength is terrifying.
We bump around in the dark, asking directions. Tim asked, a distinct uneasiness inside him. If you like, we may leave now and take what we can of the light. However, in order to get the dimensional energy we need, we shall have to hunt for monsters in the outlying woods beyond.
Hey kid, want to practice necromancy?
Never mind, said Tim. I guess I'll take my chances tonight. He tried to cheer up. Hey, should we bring diamonds? Diamonds? Why diamonds? Because, don't they say, diamonds are a ghoul's best friend?
Shut the fuck up,
Tim.
Simon Belmont looked at Tim as though he were from another planet.
And then punched him in the mouth.
Which he was, of course. Well, another dimension, anyway. Tim could see that Simon was the deadly serious type who didn't get jokes.
No, Tim, your jokes are just bad.
It didn't matter. The dude was big, and the dude was brave, and he meant well. But is he... Like, how big is he?
Oh my god, this is another big man book! I swear I'm not doing this on purpose, I swear. Holy shit.
He was big, and he was brave. Yep.
Oh.
Gee, said Tim, laughing. At least Dracula gets my jokes. He doesn't like them much, but he gets them. Simon shrugged and proceeded with his instructions. What you witnessed back on the street was my worst attack yet. Dracula is attempting to control me. However, usually he works in the traditional ways, like temptation. You see, we all have dark sides, Timothy Bradley. We are all mixtures of good and evil. Yes, even
Does Simon want to fuck Dracula?
Simon Belmont, hero of Castlevania. It is through this avenue, this dark side, that the spirit of Dracula generally sneaks up on me. This is one of the reasons I need you, to help me fight him off, not only in the manner you used before, but by pointing out to me the telltale signs of my behavior. You mean, like if you start kicking old ladies?
Sounds really interesting.
Simon's eyebrows knitted with bafflement, but then understanding dawned on him. He did not, however, smile at the exaggeration. Ah, yes, I see. No, I do not normally kick old ladies. This would be a sin. In fact, if I begin to show signs of committing any of the 7 deadly sins, warn me. The 7 deadly sins. Let me see. What are those? Ah, yes. Gluttony. That's one. Tim took a big mouthful of his cheese sandwich and then dug into his sack for a chocolate bar.
Again?
Oh god.
Lethargy. Tim yawned. You know, I could use a little sleep. Beware, Timothy Bradley. Count Dracula could well be tempting you. Tim blinked, but then waved off the notion. What?
Could you imagine if Tim became a vampire?
Oh,
He would wait for the sun, because you can't eat fucking Hershey bars if you're a vampire.
It's true.
No Godiva chocolate if you're a vampire.
Tim blinked, but then waved off the notion. What? Because I'm hungry and a little tired? Simon
not because you're hungry. It's because you literally won't stop eating
He
chocolate.
hasn't stopped eating since he came to Castlevania. In fact, he only briefly stopped eating since this book started to go to school for like an hour.
Simon nodded. perhaps you're right. In any event, the other deadly sins are deceit, jealousy, lust, anger, and blasphemy. You know, I feel like sure, but no, actually.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I guess Simon can fight with fucking Brad Pitt over what the actual 7 deadly sins are.
It's a buddy cop. It's a buddy cop film.
That is a buddy cop film.
It's,
A really, really dark one.
it's lighthearted. It's funny.
Hey, it's nice though. At the end, Brad Pitt gets a nice surprise gift wrapped up in a nice box.
It's true. I wonder what's in that
What?
box?
Yeah, what's in the box?
What's in the box? If you see any of them creeping into my actions or words, you should. You should. Hit you over the head with a sledgehammer? No, that would hurt me too much. Hey, it's a joke. Don't you Castlevanians have jokes?
No, they're Dutch.
What? Is that even a cultural? What the fuck are you talking about? That's not a thing.
Of course we do, Timothy. We are not zombies. Simon cleared his throat. How many vampires does it take to light a lantern? Hey, wow, great, a joke. Kind of like a light bulb joke. I give up. What's the answer? Simon Belmont scratched his head. I seem to have forgotten it. No matter. Not important.
Thanks,
What is
writer,
important?
for bringing that up.
Yeah, I always appreciate a book that's willing to waste my time.
What is important, vitally important, is our mission. Wow, thought Tim. Vampires, ghouls, monsters. The 7 deadly sins, a quest. Danger lurking in every mildewed corner. This was not going to be your average Tim Bradley night of chocolate, popcorn, video games, chocolate, comic books, and more chocolate.
Fucking chocolate.
This was going to be one righteous adventure.
Radical.
Well, we
I
should
just-
we should stop immediately.
Agreed.
Go get. Oh yeah, that. Get alcoholic
Go out
beverages.
into the fresh air and sunshine.
Get alcoholic beverages.
I know
and
where you're
take a
going with
shot
this.
every time the book says chocolate.
We'd be dead in 15 minutes.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I don't, and I think I might have said this in the last episode too. I don't advocate bullying, but I kind of want to bully Tim a little bit.
I don't know if they describe him at all, but in my head, he's Augustus Gloop.
No, in fact, he's described as being thin in the in the establishing chapters.
And he has all of his teeth,
Surprisingly,
which apparently would change were Joe to have gone to school with this young boy.
Might have all of somebody else's teeth by now.
That's a thing?
I mean, yeah, you can not really anymore, but once you could get dentures made out of actual teeth. Now they just cast them. It's less ghoulish, I guess. Chapter 7. Ghouls just want to have fun.
Shut the fuck up.
Simon Belmont snapped his whip. Crack! The end of the whip hit the ghoul right in the misty stuff that composed its chest. The thing was hurled back a footstep, but then it righted itself and just kept on coming. Simon pulled the whip back, readying it to crack again. Tim Bradley just stood in his tracks, frightened out of his mind. This wasn't just any two-dimensional programmed TV image dot array that could be handled with a joystick. This was a living, breathing, so rotten it smelled worse than Tim's socks monster.
did he just describe a ghoul as living?
He did, yeah. Living, breathing.
I'm really concerned by the fact that the writer of this book thinks Nintendo's had joysticks.
I'm more concerned that a 14-year-old's going to talk about dot arrays and whatnot. Like that's not how kids talked. We talked about pixels and bits. Like, oh, Super Nintendo 16-bit, you know. That kind of thing. I don't remember any conversation ever with any kid talking about dot arrays.
Class processing.
This was a living, breathing, so rotten it smelled worse than Tim's socks monster. No, scratch
It's not
that.
doing either of those things.
This was a dead,
Oh, there you
living,
go. You figured it out.
breathing monster.
Wait, no. I thought that he
Came
was
so
going to
close,
land on it, but
so close, but just walk it home, Tim. Just walk
I
it
mean,
home.
what is alive? Okay.
Things that aspirate at a start.
Okay.
now we're going down the rabbit hole of like our artificial intelligence is alive.
Yeah, that does lead to some interesting questions. Like, thus far, I would say that any definition of life would have to include basically two things. Well, three things: breathing of some sort, aspiration, eating of some sort, and reproduction. Like, I would say those are basic fundamentals of life.
That's fair.
But by that definition, you could actually say that fire is alive,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a weird kind of hole to fall into as well. One thing is clear.
Mm-hmm.
Ghouls, not alive.
Not alive. Not breathing.
Not breathing. The thing was about 7 feet tall. Its gray skin hung down in tatters, revealing bones and worms beneath. Its popping orbs looked like the eyes of a long-dead fish. But when you looked closer at the grim thing, it got worse. When you looked closer, you saw that the thing was only half solid. It seemed to be composed half of flesh and half of gray smog lit from within by an unearthly glow.
John Carpenter.
No, it's a wraith ghoul.
It is a wraith ghoul, yeah.
It's a wraith ghoul.
I just
Still very much unalive.
Not alive. Wraith ghoul. I just realized I said David Cronenberg earlier, and I meant John Carpenter.
Well, it's kind of appropriate for either.
You know, a book is really entertaining when someone's reading it and you just start rehashing things that you said like 30 minutes ago.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of my brain.
No, I get you. I was just making the point regardless.
This book isn't very good.
Simon's whip unfurled, catching the thing again, this time squarely in its scald face.
Why does Tim need to be around for this?
So he can absorb the energy.
Oh.
Duh.
This time, the whip had instant effect. An explosion like an M80 going off in a garbage can sounded out. Shivers of energy-infested ectoplasm radiated around the whip's end. The whole creature shook.
Drink it, Tim.
Then, with a bright shimmer, it seemed
Sprinkle
to
it on
wrench
some
away
chocolate
from
for you if it
existence. As though some kind of hook had come out of nowhere and dragged it into a black hole, leaving only its outline behind. The outline turned into a dazzle that glittered over Simon Belmont like fairy dust. Simon shivered, and his eyes got wide for a moment.
DMT.
And then he recoiled his whip around his hand and nodded toward Tim. Ah, yes. Energy. Already I feel recharged with vigor. I am ready for another.
Now you kill one.
Just pretend it's made out of chocolate and try and eat it.
I think Simon just had an orgasm.
Yeah, he really likes killing undead.
Yeah.
I do think that he's on something as well.
Oh yeah, he's looking at the machine elves right now.
If at some point in this book, like, Simon doesn't punch open a wall and eat a turkey out of it, I'm going to be very disappointed.
The book will have dropped the ball if
true.
Simon doesn't eat wall turkey.
That's true. The long-standing tradition of Castlevania that I am not willing to let go of. Well, good for you, Simon. Me, I'm ready to go back to that safe, warm tavern. Tim wasn't serious. He knew that he had a job ahead of him that he had promised to do, and he wasn't the sort to weasel out of his commitments. But all in all, he would rather be back in the tavern, sipping hot chocolate, than fighting ghouls in the middle of a dark Castlevania night.
Oh my god, Tim.
They'd finished their dinner back at the Heart and Soul. The innkeeper had wanted them to eat more, but Simon had insisted that too much to eat and drink would make them tired and heavy for tonight's action. Just a little catnap would do, he insisted. And that was just what they'd had, too. Catnap. Right there on one of the benches of the tavern, right beside two tavern cats.
Ugh.
Fortunately, Tim's allergies weren't acting up, so he actually managed to go to sleep despite all the excitement of the day, and all the excitement yet to come, and all the caffeine in all the chocolate bars he'd devoured.
You know, at least it was addressed. You know what? At least it was addressed. Okay, I think that's important.
I just think it's funny that it's like, Tim had allergies. They weren't acting up. So anyway.
Yeah, I was actually about to comment on that too. What's up with these books? And like because like the description of the Wraith Ghoul and Simon, like that was exciting. If I were 10, I'd be like, this is cool. And then immediately diffusing that action with bullshit.
Look, man, he needs his chocolate. All right.
What was this writer just like really hungry when they were writing this book?
I think this is how he thinks children think.
I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that all of this is for a reason. They're establishing that Tim is really into chocolate. They've established that Dracula is a tempter and will, like, try to get to you and make you do the wrong thing by providing you with what you want versus what is good. And I think that at the end of the book, Tim is going to have to choose between chocolate and doing the right thing.
So it's a Chekhov's gun, except every scene the writer is like, hey, see that gun? There's a gun over there. I wonder if somebody's going to shoot that gun. Hey, you see that gun?
Pretty much, yeah. I think
we also have to remember that Dracula is physically injured by puns.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Huh.
Yeah, we cannot forget that. That's very important to the story.
In the last episode that not David was reading, Dracula took possession of Simon, and Tim defeated him by just punning. We were all very upset by it.
I think it's I don't know. It's just like if I was about to begin writing a book and I knew ahead of time that like the climax of this entire story is going to come down to the protagonist choosing between good and chocolate, like just no, no, like there's nothing you can do to make that awesome.
Yeah, like it is, again, it's a children's book. Like I could see you setting that up and writing it well. In fact, I believe there were young adult novels in the 90s that I remember that kind of had that. Like there was a kid that everything he touched turned to chocolate, if I remember right.
Yeah, there was like the chocolate touch or something like that.
Yeah. So that could conceivably be done. I can't remember if that book was good or not. I was 10. But this writer is not. And it's a Castlevania. Just have him fight Dracula. It's fine.
Let's see. Must have been blah, blah, blah. And all the caffeine and all the chocolate bars he'd devoured. It must have been all that warm milk he'd drunk. When he'd woken up, it was dark outside, so he figured it was time to go. However, the sun was still up, even though it was low in the sky. They spent the remaining minutes warming up their muscles with exercises. Simon had prepared himself by sitting very still with his legs folded under him. Tim had prepared himself by eating a bag of M&Ms.
Oh my God.
I was about...
Simon's voice brought him back to the present. There is no time for loafing in warm taverns, Timothy Bradley. Look, here come 2 more ghouls. You take one while I deal with the other.
What? Finally, that kid's gonna get murdered.
Does anyone else find it troublesome that Simon Belmont has employed a child soldier?
Deeply.
Well,
actually,
no.
Yes.
Well, no, Joe, because when they're the protagonists, they're heroes, not child soldiers.
That's fair. That makes it all okay.
Yeah, history is full of heroes that aren't child soldiers.
Is it though?
No, it's not.
Sure enough, coming out of a narrow alley like two gravestones with arms, legs, and bad attitudes shambled two ghouls. They hissed harshly, opening mouths filled with sharp teeth. Long claws reached out to rend and tear at their victims.
Rip and tear.
All in all, it was not a pleasant sight.
And then they dumped out a bunch of Reese pieces and killed Timmy with it.
Tim Bradley lifted the sword that Simon had given him just after they'd arrived at the inn. He would have preferred a gun. However, Simon Belmont had informed him not only of the fact that there were no guns in Castlevania, but that even if they were imported from another dimension, they wouldn't work here.
That's convenient.
Gunpowder didn't explode in Castlevania.
Well, wait. Doesn't that imply that the chemical processes inside of Timothy's body would also be modified?
One would think, like the implications of gunpowder not functioning. And I'm not a chemist. If you're knowledgeable about chemistry, feel free to jump in the comments. But I do feel like if gunpowder doesn't function, then there are some implications.
Things work on magical principles here, Timothy, Simon had explained, and also on the moral laws of good and evil. This is why I am very good, and Dracula is very bad.
It doesn't say that.
It sounds like something that someone that's very bad would say.
It's true.
David, you made that up.
I'm not that good. No,
or you're too good. Yeah?
Shit, my clone is outing me.
Oh, we have an evil twin situation. Which one do we shoot?
Oh god, we have to choose between like an evil person and an asshole.
Wait, which
one's which? Yeah.
I hate all of you.
Anyway, now Tim Bradley didn't have time to worry about the niceties of ethics and moral philosophy. He had a snarling creature to deal with. The ghoul bore down on him with surprising speed for something that looked like it was going to fall apart at any moment. Tim swung the sword over his head toward the creature, but somehow missed.
Where did he get a sword?
Simon gave it to him, off camera.
The metal sword crashed down on the cobbles noisily. Yeah, he says, Simon gave it to him just after they arrived at the inn.
Did I
miss that? That's not
that?
important. It's important that...
I mean, you did, but it was an afterthought even in the book.
Yeah, it's important that we know that he's allergic to cats, even though his allergies aren't propping up right now. It's not actually causing him any trouble. But having a sword, we can hand-wave that.
Yeah.
Correct, sang the song of Simon's whip from behind him as the hero dealt with his ghoul.
You know the writer just spent all day thinking that little phrase up.
The ghoul's razor-sharp fingernails reached out and ripped at Tim's jacket. The whole arm was torn. Yow, said Tim. My mom's gonna kill me.
My whole arm is torn.
The ghoul just snarled and pushed its outstretched hands towards Timothy Bradley's throat. You rat! I hope you have a mom, because that's who I'm sending you back to.
Ew. What?
Ew.
What?
That's weird.
I mean, I guess the implication that the ghoul's mother is not alive anymore.
Right. Wait, I hope you had a mom. Your mom is dead, and this makes you sad before I kill you.
I'm gonna hit you so hard you're gonna shoot back up your mother's vagina.
Go to your womb.
Go to your womb. Ugh.
With all his might, Tim lifted the sword and swung it toward the spot where Simon's whip had been so effective on the last ghoul. The thick, pitted blade sliced into the mist skin, and immediately sparks flew like a blowout in a spiral galaxy. As he watched with astonishment, the ghoul slowly faded away. Before it was completely invisible, it was yanked from its existence on this plane, leaving behind only its outline. This outline hovered, shimmering for an instant, and then, like a tiny piece cut from a whirlwind of light, It flew up the metal of Tim's sword. It felt as though he'd stuck both hands into an electrical outlet.
How does he know what that feels like?
He might have. I mean, I did that when I was a kid. You know.
I did it too.
Right. Energy coursed through him, but without a buzz, and it felt like his hair was standing on end. He also felt as though he'd been jolted awake.
Is Tim Elric?
Goodness, he said, blinking as he turned to Simon.
That
That really packs a wallop. He felt as though he'd just run a mile and then drunk a quart of Gatorade. Refreshed.
He's never run a mile.
Alert. I feel like somebody just changed my batteries.
Man, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yes, you see. Now we have sufficient energy to deal with the next part of our mission. Which is, pray tell? Asked Tim, barely bouncing on the balls of his feet.
Yep,
I feel like
definitely
Hyper Tim is the worst possible outcome of everything.
Yeah.
According to Linda Entwistle, first we must locate the rib of Dracula. That must be his funny bone. He sure seems to have lost it.
Shut the fuck up.
Gosh, he felt alive and buoyant. He felt like he could conquer the world and then play 2 hours of touch football in the evening.
Yep, that's definitely cocaine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tim, you're on cocaine.
You know, all things considered, like, all you have to do in this world to get a shot of cocaine is to kill, like, a shambling ghoul, and then you just get all this energy. Not a bad trade-off.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly,
That's all I would do. Like, I would be a monster hunter.
you would be Simon Belmont.
I do wonder, though, if you have to, like, after, like, an hour, you have to go kill another ghoul, or you just end up in a really shitty, bad mood.
What if, like, each ghoul you kill, you like, okay, so, like, killing one ghoul gets you an hour-long buff. But if you kill a ghoul, like, 2 minutes later, you'll still get the hour-long buff, but it'll be on the, like, when the first one ends.
It extends the cooldown, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so you just keep killing ghouls for, like, a day, and then you have, like, so many hours of being jacked.
No, that's not how it works at all.
Well, not in the real world, but this is magic. Also, I'm really hoping for the reveal that, and I know it's not coming, but I'm hoping for the reveal that these Wraith Ghouls are actually just the, like, innocent populace of Castlevania, and they're just effectively mass murdering the entire population for the equivalent of a cocaine high.
We wondered earlier if this whole story wasn't a demented hallucination by Tim.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tim is actually murdering the kids in his school right now with a sharpened pick. Like, he's just running around with, like, a pencil and an ink pen, and he's just murdering the shit out of his fellow students.
Just melted chocolate all over his great little hands.
Yeah,
This is a satanic panic-esque warning about occult video games.
And chocolate.
And
Hey,
chocolate, yeah.
a bully stole his chocolate and it sent him over the edge.
Yes, perhaps. She said that we would receive a clue as to its whereabouts from the central signpost in the middle of Castlevania. Simon's face twitched. First, though, I seem to be hungry again. Perhaps we should go back to the Heart and Soul Tavern. There we can eat a decent meal.
Sounds so interesting.
Eggs
It's almost
and
as if we did it
flapjacks.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Eggs and flapjacks, I should think. Oh yes, and cake with whipped cream. And apples. Lots of apples. And you can eat your chocolate, and then we can wash it all down with yards of foamy ginger ale. And then we can eat sausages and jams, and then
What the
perhaps we can
fuck is
think about
happening?
dessert.
It's gluttony.
It's
Yeah.
cocaine. No, gluttony for sure, yeah. This sounded good to Tim. He was always hungry. He could do with a couple of Cadbury bars, if only to celebrate his victory over the ghoul.
Oh my god.
I think like
But then he caught himself up short. This was the sort of warning sign that Simon had told him about. Wasn't gluttony one of the 7 deadlies? His stomach rumbled. Still, Some pancakes would be awfully delicious. No, he told himself. This was why he was here, to help Simon resist temptations, not fall to them himself. He had a responsibility to fulfill, and he meant to do just that.
And then he ate some chocolate.
Oh.
Some M&Ms.
Hmm.
He kicked Simon Belmont in the butt. Not real hard, but firmly enough to wrest his attention away from treats and sweets. Ouch,
how
said
metal
Simon.
would it have been if he just kicked him in the nuts?
Just slap him straight in the face.
And then Simon strangles him with his whip.
Ouch, said Simon. He lifted his whip up, turning a look of anger and menace on Tim.
Yeah.
Why do you strike me, mortal? You see,
Do it.
you're even
Do it.
starting to sound like Dracula.
God damn it.
Simon's mouth dropped open. Yes, you're right. And so you kicked me upon my nether parts.
What?
Simon patted Tim upon his shoulder. Excellent.
Maybe he did kick him in the nuts.
Already Linda has guided me truly in selecting such a fine fellow as you. Linda! Tim felt a stirring of feeling. He really liked this guy.
In his nether parts.
When Simon Belmont had a good thought about someone, he shared it. He was thoughtful, sincere, and honest. So what if he was a bit unhip? He had his own brand of cool.
What the fuck are you talking about?
They're gonna kiss.
I'm getting the
different
vapors.
book.
They're gonna kiss. They're
Oh,
This
cool.
is
gonna
like the
kiss.
bathroom scene.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime, Simon. Tim looked down the intersecting streets, deserted now, all wrapped in night and eerie mist. Well, we'd better be going to that signpost now, right? The question is, which way? Right, my true friend. The way to the signpost is no problem. Follow me. And Tim, trusting Simon to show him the correct way, followed. You can make anything sound creepy if you read it right. That's
Yeah.
I defy you to make Tim eating chocolate sound creepy.
Challenge accepted, sir. Chapter 8. The Signpost. Good grief, said Tim Bradley, gazing upon the thing with a mixture of awe and bafflement. This is the weirdest signpost I've ever seen. As I said, Timothy Bradley, things are not the same here in Castlevania as they are in your dimension. Boy, I'll say. The sign was normal around the edges. Its stand was of wood, solid oak from the looks of it, and the frame was wood as well. However, it was the image inside the frame that was weird. Clouds, said Tim. It looks like just a muddle of clouds. I feel like I'm looking into the Twilight Zone. He looked over his shoulder. Is Rod Serling hiding anywhere around here, by the way? Because, definitely every 10-year-old in the 90s knew who Rod Serling was.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone? Cultural reference. But what good is it going to do in our getting our directions to Dracula's chest bone?
Wow, it's like the writer critiqued his own writing in the writing.
You know what? I'm proud of him for that.
Just a moment, my friend. Observe. From around his neck, Simon took the leather thong to which was tied the magical ring that had brought him to Earth and to Tim. He picked the ring up between his fingers, and it sparkled with his touch. I feel like Stephanie Meyer, the lady that wrote Twilight, must have read this book. This is twice now it's talked about Simon sparkling in various ways.
It's true.
Tim found himself holding his breath with excitement. There was something righteous and glorious about that ring now as Simon held it forth to the sign.
As I held aloft my magic ring and sang. I'm sorry.
The gold and glitter touched the wood. Tim Bradley gasped with wonder. The clouds exploded with light.
It's really exciting.
Tim had to hold up his hand to shield his eyes. There was violet light, red light, light of rainbow dazzle.
That's my My Little Pony name, Rainbow Dazzle.
What's your cutie mark?
Oh god, that's gonna need some thought. Joe could probably come up with a cynical one in 2 minutes.
It's a butt.
on my butt.
Just a butt with like a cutie mark of a butt on that butt.
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
Buttception. Butts all the way down.
Just mirrors reflecting mirrors.
And then the light faded into a soft and simple radiance surrounding a face. It was a woman's face, and it was the most beautiful woman that Tim Bradley had ever seen. She had eyes the color of the sky at its most blue, and hair the color of honey. Her skin was soft and pure and clean. She was smiling, but it was a smile of sadness, of melancholy. "Linda," said Simon Belmont. "My wonderful and beautiful Linda Entwistle. You were correct. At night, the signs can become portals into the dimension where you are imprisoned."
Entwistle?
Entwistle. Linda Entwistle.
I wonder if Linda gets up in the morning and is like, man, I really need to get married to get rid of this last name. This is awful.
Well, currently she's imprisoned, so I don't know if that's the first thing she thinks of, but it's probably on the list.
On the list of priorities.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get out of this dimension of prison and then get married. In that order.
So now, I'm reaching here, but my guess is that once they defeat Dracula and Tim Bradley gets sent back to Earth, I'm assuming that he's going to go handle business with that bully from the first episode.
Oh man, wouldn't it be great if he had a whole confident march up to the bully, and then the bully just, for 2 chapters of the book, just kicks the shit out of him.
Just houses him for 2 chapters.
Yes.
Chapter 21 and chapter 22 are just Tim Bradley getting fucking wore out by what's his name, Bert, I think his name was, or some unrealistic name for a child in the late 80s, early 90s.
We didn't trust the author. He was leading up to this the whole time.
Linda Entwistle smiled understandingly at her beloved. "I should think that's fairly obvious, darling. But, I see that you have successfully brought the hero from Earth here. And my goodness, he is a handsome young man."
That's not okay.
Yeah,
that's not
weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
With fucking chocolate smeared on his face and just empty wrappers of Reese's Pieces just stuffed
an
in
adult
pockets.
Woman looking at a child and going, "Oh my, what a handsome young man."
Well, wait.
That's happening. That's not that weird necessarily. People do that. I mean, it's kind of weird, but whatever.
Well, I mean, it is supposed to be set in history, right? Didn't people get married at a lot younger age back in history?
I don't think that's it, because this writer isn't writing from that kind of cultural standpoint. He's not writing it he's not deep diving into the character of Linda Entwistle and deciding that since she's from an era would be 1500s Romania, that this is how these. No, I mean they're talking about way in the same way that somebody would talk in the 1950s.
Yeah. Tim blushed. "Hi," was all he could manage. "He has already saved me from Dracula twice," said Simon.
And how depressing is that?
Right? But time grows short, Linda. We must seek out the 5 vital parts of Dracula you have described. The closest, you say, is Dracula's rib. But where is this rib? Linda Entwistle's image shook and quivered as though the sign were a magical television screen and something were interfering with the transmission. "There are limits to the power of the ring you hold, my darling," she said. "It, too, is affected by the curse of Dracula upon the land of Castlevania."
9 for the kings of men.
"When I attempt to tell you the direct truth of the locations of these parts of Dracula, the message is garbled. Therefore, I must tell you indirectly through puzzles and riddles.
That's convenient.
Puzzles and riddles? Said Simon, cringing. I am not too good with puzzles and riddles, Linda.
I hate thinking.
I'm very dumb.
You know that. Yes, dear. I remember how baffled you were when we played such games as children.
You idiot.
However, this is one of the reasons I had you seek the help of Tim Bradley here. Tim, you are good with such brain teasers, are you not? Well, that's what my teachers say, and I do like to do crosswords and stuff sometimes, but I'm not really the best. I don't know why you chose me.
Neither do we, Tim. Neither do we.
No. All of us are very confused about this.
She smiled, perhaps for your modesty. Now, there are people, a kind of static frizzed through the screen shot with veins of blood red. Different. These will also be told in puzzles and riddles. Stop, said Simon. We didn't get the last part. There was
Are you
an
driving through a
interruption.
tunnel?
Can you hear me now?
Linda Entwistle cleared her throat. I said, there are people of Castlevania and the surrounding environs who have learned of the whereabouts of these pieces of Dracula. And they know the howabouts to get to them.
So it wasn't an actual interference. She just had a frog in her throat. And once she cleared that, she was able to easily give the description. Yeah, okay.
And you know what's really exciting in your book to kids is just repeating things.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Somebody read this book to get a pizza party, all right? That's all it was.
Yep. Precisely. You are a sharp fellow, young Tim. She sent him a smile. Tim's pulse quickened. Wow. Forget Carol Jantz back home. A guy could really fall hard for a lady like Linda Entwistle. Tim could feel a stupendous crush squeezing in on him hard already.
So wait, there are some people who know where Dracula's bits are, which means they can help us. Wow, you great job, Sherlock. You did it. You solved the case.
And none of this is new, and we already knew that we were going to have to talk to the townsfolk to learn things. This isn't new information.
This isn't even really information or entertainment.
Or edutainment.
Ah, yes, of course, said Simon. All good Castlevanians would want to rid this land of Dracula. No true Scotsman.
Sugar in the porridge.
All good people everywhere would want to get rid of a vampire, Simon, Linda admonished. However, to protect themselves, these people must deliver their messages in riddles and puzzles as well. Understood, said Simon impatiently. Much as I adore you, Linda, we really need to find out the location of that rib.
Man, just a silver tongue, that Simon.
I know I haven't seen you and you're trapped in a fucking dimension of hell. But can you just speed this along?
Simon's trying to push A to skip the cutscene.
Somebody dumped their charisma.
What you need can be found, said Linda Entwistle, where love is joined and Sundays sound.
A church.
Yep.
How long are we going to spend with them thinking this out? How many chapters?
This book doesn't value the reader's time.
And then, with a flash of colored smoke, the image of Linda's face swept away, replaced by the previous clouds. Where love is joined and Sundays sound, said Simon, scratching. Well now,
scratching.
That doesn't make much sense, Linda. Love isn't a thing, so how can it be joined? And days don't make any sounds, as far as I know.
It's a metaphor, dumbass.
Idiot.
So dumb.
All Tim could think was that he was glad this guy had a lot of goodness, bravery, and muscle.
At least he's pretty.
Because he sure didn't have much in the way of brains.
I feel like that's a betrayal to Simon's character. I I'm not a fan of Castlevania. I mean, like, I have not as in I dislike it. Like, I haven't even played it. Kaine, I feel like to fight Dracula, you gotta be like sharp. Like, I feel like that's a basic requirement.
Yeah, but we need to give Simon a weakness to justify the existence of Tim.
Yep.
And he dumped charisma and int, but he did take his wisdom.
Yes.
He's a ranger.
He doesn't know how to cross the bridge, but he does know whether or not he should.
She wants us to go to a church, Simon. Love is joined by marriage, usually in a church, he said. That's, well, okay. Moving on.
Yep.
Are there any churches close by? Well, actually, there's only one church in Castlevania.
How convenient.
It's the Church of Dracula. I don't know if we should go there.
I don't know. The Church of Dracula sounds awesome.
It does, actually.
I think I went there in New Orleans once.
They just have anachronistic metal playing.
Well, actually, there's only one church in Castlevania. So I guess that must be the one she wants us to go to.
You guess?
I guess. Let's just get to that church before any more of these weird ghouls show up. I enjoyed the energy boost, but I might not be as lucky next time with this sword. Perhaps we can get you another weapon. At least you'll have a choice, if need be.
A chocolate sword.
Yeah. Just a snicker dagger.
They started off, Tim looking wistfully.
Got to be a chocolate dagger.
Nice. They started off, Tim looking wistfully back behind them at the signpost where Linda Entwistle's face had been. Chapter 9.
That's really where the story's going, is a fight to the death between Tim Bradley and Simon over the affections of Linda Entwistle.
I hope so.
Dracula's just like, hey, you guys want to... No? Okay.
And so we just spent a whole chapter for them to walk up to a signpost, learn stuff we already knew, and then they left. End of chapter.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Chapter 9. The Church. The only church in Castlevania proved to be not only the old-fashioned European cathedral type, but a mighty big one, more than big enough, according to Simon, fit all of Castlevania's citizens inside.
That's how the church works.
This way, said Simon, gesturing impatiently for Tim to hurry. His footsteps echoed as he entered. The inside was lit by candles. Candles everywhere. More candles, it seemed, than on 1,000 birthday cakes combined. Up ahead, Tim could see Simon walking down an aisle. The place smelled of candle wax and age, and it all seemed ancient and holy. Tim hurried along to catch up with his friend. The echoes of his own footsteps skidded along the floor excitedly, without the sound of authority of his friends.
I love how this writer just writes off Gothic architecture. It seems holy and cool.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it paints a picture. Like, I can sort of visualize what this would look like pretty easily, And
I consider that a gift, because he could have spent this whole fucking chapter talking
about
the church.
He could have gone full Tolkien with this fucking church. What's your favorite kind of architecture?
I'd have to say Gothic.
I guess, just in general, I'm pretty fond of like Edwardian style houses.
Sure.
Mind you, I have not been exposed to much architecture.
I like anything that has connections to the Victorian era, so a lot of times I like Art Nouveau, decorative, Art Deco to some extent.
Glad we had that talk.
It was more interesting than the book.
It was, actually. Wait up, he called to the hero, and his voice came back to him from the walls like a choir. However, despite his call, Simon was intent upon his goal, the altar. When Simon reached it, he took the handle of his whip and knocked on the wood 3 times. Almost immediately, a man wearing a gray hooded robe stepped out from the alcove. He walked up to Simon. Yes, my son? I am on a quest, brother. I seek to rid this land of the curse of Dracula. Tim walked up and opened his mouth to make a quip. However, something stilled him. There was something about this place, but especially about this holy man, that said, "No jokes, please." The monk looked at Simon and then over to Tim. "The monster's evil even penetrates the walls of this church." "Yes, you can help us, though." "Indeed, I shall do what I can," the monk said solemnly. His hand reached back and he took off his hood. His eyes fairly sparkled with good humor, but the frown on his face showed that he knew well how serious the situation was. "We are having a white elephant sale of certain items to benefit charity. Have you sufficient coin that you can buy these things?"
What the fuck?
"Oh," said Tim. "Simon, this must be part of what Linda was talking about. He wants to pass these things along in an indirect manner." Tim rummaged through his pockets and came up with 2 quarters, a dime, 3 nickels, and a penny.
And
Just
Reese's
enough.
Pieces.
By the time he put out his hand to offer the coins, Simon was already tinkling 3 gold pieces into the outstretched palm of the monk. "Thank you, Brother Simon." The man turned and retrieved a wooden box from the altar behind him. "Your items of purchase are enclosed."
No, Tim, this isn't. He's not trying to obscure. This is a shakedown. And you're a fool.
And I think it's important that the currency that you use in Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest are hearts, not gold pieces.
Also, what would the evil penetrates even these walls guy have done if they didn't have enough money? Like, oh, sorry.
Guess Dracula's gonna kill us all.
Yep.
Fuck it.
Get booked. Papa needs his ducats.
Oh man, if you'd like to donate to the fund to repair the church roof, I could certainly help you with that.
"Thank you, Brother Simon." The man turned and retrieved a wooden box from the altar behind him. "Your items of purchase are enclosed." The monk handed Simon the box and began to walk away back to the cloisters of the church. "Hey, wait!" called Tim. "What about the puzzle I'm supposed to solve about the next part of our journey?" The monk turned around and gazed at Tim quizzically. "Oh, you mean the part about where to find Dracula's rib?" Tim was astounded. "Shh," he said. "This is all supposed to be hush-hush. The rib, my friend, would be at Berkeley Mansion. You just leave to the right from here," he gestured.
So
And-
that was just a shakedown.
Yep.
You just leave to the right from here, he gestured, and take Bulgaria Road straight on into Jova Woods. Now be forewarned, the paths are very confusing there, but I'm sure you'll muddle through. Tim's mouth had dropped. But what about, Dracula might hear you." The monk shrugged. "I'll take my chance." With
I
that,
got 3
monk
bits
left
of gold.
them.
I don't give a fuck anymore.
I got fat stacks of cash. Dracula could get fucked.
This feels like the setup for introducing a new character. Like, the paths are muddled and you'll never make it through. You need a ranger or whatever.
Yeah, that's not how Simon's
No.
Quest worked.
It's just
No.
going to be Wingus and Dingus clown choosing their way through the woods.
Although, spoiler alert, the next Castlevania game that came out for NES, you did have other characters.
Yeah, they kind of realized at that point that Simon was getting a little tired.
I believe it was Richter Belmont, or maybe Trevor Belmont.
I think it was
the next
Trevor
one.
in the third one.
Yeah, because Richter is in Castlevania X for the SNES, which leads into Symphony of the Night.
Which is a masterpiece.
Oh,
It's
it's such a good game.
Yeah,
Such a good game.
I was surprised at how much I enjoyed Symphony of the Night. That's the only Castlevania I've really played from start to finish.
That's a good one. If you're going to only play one, that's a good one. At any rate, we're not there. We're here.
We're in 2.
"Well, there's a brave fellow for you," said Simon. "Now let's see what we've got here in this box, shall we?" He set it down onto a
Bees.
pew and opened the lid.
Bees!
Bees?
Oh, we paid that priest 3 gold pieces for a box of bees. This sucks.
I feel like you guys need to have a soundboard that will allow you to play Nicolas Cage screaming out, "Not the bees."
I feel like I should just have that on a necklace around my neck at all times.
Nice.
Tim was still overwhelmed by the monk. Wow, what a guy. Too bad the rest of the Castlevanians aren't as brave as he is. The rest of the Castlevanians don't have the trappings of a church to protect them. They're out in the middle of all that darkness. They
Aren't we all,
don't
though?
have to be. The church was just described as being large enough for all of them.
Yeah, why not just hang out in the church?
Right. Well, it didn't work in Valaki. Simon pulled out a large flask.
Let's get fucking crunk.
Party time.
Excellent. Look what we have here, Tim.
They have to come down from the cocaine somehow.
Right.
I don't see any weed. So.
Whiskey and speed.
Yep.
Great. A canteen of water, Tim said sarcastically.
Shut the fuck up, Tim.
Yeah, seriously. Like, you have to be charming to pull off sarcasm. Like, otherwise, like, no one likes it. No one likes you. You're an asshole.
Ah, but not just any water, said Simon, holding the flask reverently.
It
It's
could
my
be
urine.
holy water, could it?
Holy water.
Fucking spoiler alert. Damn.
Well, that's all very well and good, but what does it do?
Tim, you played Castlevania 1. It's like your whole thing is that
Yeah.
you beat
Yeah.
Castlevania 19 times.
It would. This is like if Frodo like woke up in Twin Towers and was just like, "Hey, what's this thing on my neck?" Like, what do you mean?
What's it do?
Simon seemed baffled by that one. We shall just have to find out, won't we? Also,
How does Simon
don't
not
mix
know what it.
don't mix shall with won't.
Yeah.
We shall just have to find out, shan't we? Get it fucking right.
Right?
What else? Simon retrieved 2 whips. Tim recognized them immediately. They were thorn whips. Long, beautifully crafted thorn whips. Excellent,
Yeah,
said
we remember from when Simon had them before.
Yeah, the whole book. Is Simon going to dual wield whips like a badass? Because that sounds
Nope.
cool.
Excellent, said Simon. The battle with the ghouls damaged my other whip. Now I have a new one, and you have another
What?
weapon, if you care to use it.
Whipping my whip, damaged my whip.
Using it for its one intended purpose fucked it up.
I'm just glad that they didn't actually describe that the author didn't describe that during the fucking battle.
Yeah.
Could have
which-
added. It could have
been
added
done.
something, you know, like.
Also, again, like, oh man, my whip is damaged. Good thing I have another one and right here in my pocket.
Well, yeah. I mean, what if the church didn't? What if they had opened up that box and it was just a bunch of empty candy bar wrappers?
Or even just, more holy water. Like any,
Yeah.
a useful thing that wasn't a weapon.
Like garlic,
Yeah.
or something else.
A turkey.
Throwing axe, dagger. Could have been a whole bunch of shit and not been a whip. Was Simon just gonna fucking limp along with his other one? like I gotta be careful. This shit's about to break.
Well, that's, they didn't mention it being damaged before, so it wasn't until they got replacements. That's how this works.
I wish my car worked that way.
I wish my body worked that way.
Yeah. And weapon durability just makes everything worse anyway.
It's true.
I hate video games where your weapons can break.
Yep. I don't want to go down the Legend of Zelda path, but that was the least cool thing about Breath of the Wild.
It's true.
Like, even the Master Sword would break.
That doesn't scan.
It would eventually fix itself and only be temporarily broken, but it would, break for a minute if you used it too much.
Mhm.
I feel like rule number 1 of magical swords is they don't break.
That was a thing in Breath of the Wild. Like, even the really cool weapons that you had to go through extensive quests to get would just break.
Can you repair them?
using shit that's also hard to get a hold of.
Mhm.
Like you were actually better served a lot of the time to use the shitty sticks that you picked up off the ground because there was at least an endless supply of those.
And was it one of those catch-22s where like I better save these weapons for when I need them most, and then you just get through the whole game using sticks, and you reach the end and like, oh, I could have been using the other things the whole time.
I have 37 scrolls of Meteo. I better hold on to them in case I need it.
Better save these Phoenix down.
Right.
Now we're crossing into different games. What the fuck? I mean, if the listeners don't play the video games a whole bunch,
Yeah,
no fucking clue what any of that is.
we've gone down a rabbit hole.
Shut up, Matt David. No one cares.
let's climb out of this rabbit hole with my weird, recently chewed into existence phalanges.
Just eat your uncooked potato and let's read Castlevania.
Excellent, said Simon. The battle with the ghouls damaged my other whip. Now I have a new one, and you have another weapon if you care to use it. Because, a whip is totally the sort of thing you can just pick up and use with no training. Swords
Especially
are one
as
thing,
a weapon.
But, yeah. Well, I suppose I could try, said Tim. Still, I'm getting pretty good with this sword, huh? Simon said
no,
nothing.
You're not.
which says everything.
Okay. But I am getting better, aren't I? Simon raised an eyebrow. Tim held out his hand. Just how do you snap one of these babies anyway? Tim gave him the whip. It just takes practice.
Oh my god, I said that as a joke, and then that's basically what he said.
Yeah, it just takes practice, Timothy. Practice. You keep on doing it, and that's the way you do it correctly. That's not actually true. Practice doesn't. For the record, practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. If you're practicing something wrong, you're just going to continue doing it the wrong way once you've wired your brain.
10,000 hours of fucking something up still means you're an expert at fucking it up.
True.
I'm gonna go find some birds and convince them to make a nest inside of my skull so that the chirping will drown out this book.
It just takes practice, Timothy. Practice. Keep on doing it. That's the way you do it correctly. This is one of the lessons that your video games have taught you, is it not? Did you win the games when you first tried them? No? But this is
if you're
different.
not a scrub.
Get good.
Get good.
Get good.
Noob.
He's just going to be limply flailing the whip at things.
No, that's the thing is Indiana Jones teaches us that if you don't know how to properly use a whip, you have just as much chance of fucking yourself up as your enemy.
It's true. No, but this is different. They were fun. Simon looked his friend right in the eye. All of life is not fun, Timothy Bradley. If you learn nothing else from this adventure, then you should learn that. So what else do we have here? I feel like that's a good moral for their listeners, too. Like, if you learn nothing else from this adventure, you should learn that all of life is not fun.
It's true.
Well, I mean, I think this is also an important thing to keep in mind is that Simon realizes that he is a video game character.
Mm-hmm.
And that the reason Timothy was chosen is because he was really, really good at controlling him in the first game.
Puppeteering him.
Yeah. Ugh. That's a dark place to go.
There's some, weird,
is it
creepy
not David?
implications.
Is it?
He has
a name.
Shit. I'm starting to identify.
Because I'm people. Crudely brewed together person, but still people.
Is Frankenstein the monster, or is the monster Frankenstein?
See, you keep saying that you're people, but I mean, you're a clone of David, and David's barely people.
It's true.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe we're all the Walking Dead.
I'm just saying. There's a reason you weren't used to make the clone. I'm just saying.
Simon reached in, grabbed something, and lifted it out. At first, Tim thought it was a diamond. And if it was a diamond, it was the biggest that Tim had ever seen. But then he saw it wasn't a diamond. Although it was mostly white, it had streaks of red in it. Tim had never seen anything at all like that in a diamond. It's some sort of crystal, he said in wonder, even as it sparkled and shone like a fireworks display.
Question, are diamonds crystals?
Yes.
Okay, that's all.
All diamonds are crystals, but all crystals aren't diamonds.
Correct. Crystal is a type of structure. The diamonds have a crystalline structure. It's how their molecules bond together.
Diamonds are Ghoul's best friend.
True.
I actually always remember an episode of DuckTales that showed Scrooge McDuck finding coal and then corralling a herd of elephants to step on it, and it turned it into diamonds. And that's one of the ways that he got very rich.
Okay.
You're welcome for that.
Thank you.
Maybe if you guys would educate me with more than just old cartoons from the late 80s, I'd know more.
Look, it was good enough for my parents. It's going to be good enough for you.
A whole generation was raised on that programming, and we're fine. So don't even worry about it.
Yes, said Simon. And if my hunch is correct, then not only is it a magic crystal. Simon took a deep breath, exhaling with a weariness of the weight of a whole dimension on his shoulders. It is the key to finding Dracula's rib in Berkeley Mansion. And I don't suppose you mean the barbecued type, do you?
You know, at least it isn't chocolate. At least he's not talking about chocolate.
So like, if they didn't have 3 gold pieces, the priest would have just been like, get fucked.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Yeah, I mean, he told him where it is, but then he gave him the crystal, but only for the 3 gold. What if all they had was actually like the couple of quarters and dimes and nickels and pennies that Tim had?
Then I guess they would have had to kill the monk.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, that would have been a far more interesting moral decision. Does killing Dracula justify the murder of this innocent monk who won't help us because we don't have anything for the shakedown?
Or if Simon had just looked at Tim and went, "We're gonna have to kill him, Tim. Get your sword out.
Do it.
Handle business."
You're gonna have to absorb his energy too. Here, have some more ghoul energy. It'll make it easier to do this.
Tim wept as the priest's blood splattered his face. "What have I done?" he cried. "What you had to do," said Simon.
No. It wouldn't have been that, because Tim, like, it would have been all serious and grave, and Tim is like, okay, he's just a video game character, and chopped his head off.
I mean, technically, he is just a video game character.
That's true. But at this point, well, I guess, no, Tim is not, because he's not actually in the game. So...
Not unless there's a really, really obscure Easter egg that just no one has found yet.
Ever. Because it's never been found. There's no reference to a Mr. Bradley in Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest.
And there should have been.
And I actually still have, I'd have to look through, I have like a memory box that I still have passcodes from Metroid, Castlevania 2, and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Aww.
Nice.
I still remember the level skip codes from Disney's Aladdin for Super Nintendo.
Weird.
That's really weird.
I don't think I ever even played Disney's Aladdin for Super Nintendo.
It was a fun enough platformer.
I didn't.
Anyway.
You have to also remember Joe was like a baby when Super Nintendo came out.
That's true. That's true.
Probably played the shit out of that Lion King game that came out.
Didn't play the Lion King game.
You have to be defensive about it. No one's judging you.
What the fuck?
Judging you a little bit, but only a little.
But not because of the video game.
Right. Simon took a deep breath, exhaling with a weariness of the weight of a whole dimension on his shoulders. It is the key to finding Dracula's rib in Berkeley Mansion. And I don't suppose you mean the barbecued type, do you? Simon looked at Tim with total confusion. Never mind. Dumb joke. You should try to be more serious, Timothy. Hey, it was my dumb jokes that drove Dracula off, wasn't it? True, but you lack a certain gravity in your character. Well, I don't feel like I'm about to float off, if that's what you mean.
Ugh.
This shall be one of my missions on this quest, said Simon. I shall make you a more serious young man. And I, said Tim, will make you have a good laugh or two. Simon grunted. We'll see. He turned and started marching off back to the exit of the church.
You should have said whale see.
Tim tried his thorn whip. All he managed to do was knock over a bunch of candles into a baptismal font. Their flames hissed out. Oh, said the voice of the brother, echoing with sarcasm through the church. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Tim wound the whip back up, grabbed his satchel, and raced after Simon.
At least he didn't grab Simon's satchel.
I like the priest just sarcasm.
Yeah, priest
Just
throwing
put
shade is
upon-
pretty great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would that cost 3 gold pieces, Mr. Priest?
You're really upset about that currency exchange there.
Moneylenders in the temple.
Oh shit. Table's getting knocked over.
Oh shit,
Maybe he
dog.
got whips.
Why did the priest have whips? Is my question.
Look, we don't need to ask about what he gets up to when he's not preaching.
That's
That's-
fair. That's his business.
That's right. As long as he's not hurting anyone without their consent.
Mhm.
Chapter 10. A Rib Tickler.
Alright. So the question, I think the question that we need to ask ourselves.
It would be okay. God fucking damn it.
I'm sorry. I just want to die.
Can we
Imagine how not David feels.
can we just enter a passcode and go to the Dracula fight?
My dog literally came over and like, "Are you all right, man?" You're a good boy. You're a good boy.
Wait, does this mean I've been saved from the incinerator for another week?
We'll see.
Good job, not David. Might kill you in the morning.
Exactly. Nice. We are going to have to put you back in the shed, though.
I don't want to go back in. Can I just stay in this room?
No, you'll think you're people.
Look, we got you
I
a
have a
chew
name.
toy. You'll be fine.
Give you an uncooked potato to gnaw on.
And to play with as well.
It's a toy and a meal. You're fine.
You know, by next week, he's going to have those phalanges really formed.
Like a really, really depressing version of what's his face from Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan.
Oh,
Okay, I was going to say, you need to add some more words to that.
depressing person from Watchmen. Could you be more specific?
Yeah.
You know, that one depressing character.
In
You know,
that very hopeful and optimistic piece of literature.
We're through, 4 more chapters, and I really feel like Tim's grown a lot.
Maybe in the waistband.
I'm just saying he hasn't eaten chocolate in 2 chapters.
It's true.
That is, yeah.
He has thought about chocolate pretty
Yeah,
regularly.
that's not the point. For like the first fucking 6 chapters, he was just stuffing gobs of chocolate into his face hole, and now he's tamped that down a little bit, finding out that gluttony would lead to Simon being possessed by Dracula. So, maybe this growth pattern will continue, and he'll be a better person.
Of all
This is all done.
the great story arcs of history,
Will Tim learn not to eat chocolate?
Robo, that's like right alongside with RoboCop's, Murphy's soul literally waking up from death and rediscovering his humanity. It's right up there.
I like how your like high bar of classic storytelling and drama is RoboCop, and I'm not actually kidding. I genuinely love that movie. I think it's fantastic, and it gets a lot of negative impressions that are basically the fault of the sequels and the cartoon and the whole like weird attempt to turn it into a children's franchise that happened with basically everything in the 80s.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
Cool toys, though.
That's true. The original film, though, is absolutely brilliant.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'd buy that.
It had a lot to say. All right, so that's the end of chapter 9. We may come back to this book. We might not. Hopefully you derived some satisfaction from this. Again, if you want to be personally responsible for this show and all of its contents, kick us a couple bucks on Patreon, and then it'll be your fault. If you're a YouTube listener, don't forget to do all the things that YouTube likes it when you do.
Push the weasel.
Push the weasel. Massage the pelican. Click the bell. Ring the bell. Ring the bell like Quasimodo screaming for sanctuary. Subscribe to our channel. If you're listening on Google or Apple Podcasts, leave us a good review, because that's apparently also good for the algorithms. And leave us a comment, message us, follow us on your favorite social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Sometimes we post things there.
And
Thank
really,
you for your time.
Just talk to us. We're lonely.
Yeah, we're locked on the moon.
Yeah, the moon
I'm
blows.
incredibly lonely.
We went through half a dozen clones that melted into goo screaming, "Kill me, kill me, kill me," until we got one right, and this is what we wound up with. So we're desperate.
Kill me too.
Yes, but we didn't listen this time.
We didn't listen. You didn't melt into goo, so you're ahead of the game.
It's like, resident historical asshole Thomas Edison and learning how to make a light bulb or whatever.
What?
I don't know.
And we didn't even have to electrocute any elephants.
It's true. Yeah.
What's an elephant?
So yeah, if you like us, leave us a comment. I'll probably directly respond to any messages or comments we receive because I have no life. Thank you for listening. Have a happy birthday.
And elephants are things that crush coal into diamonds.
And if you do nothing else today, don't forget to wash your hands, crotch, and underarms.
Yeah.
In that order?
Probably the underarms first, so you're not washing your underarms with crotch towel.
To steal an old George Carlin bit, asshole, armpit, crotch, and teeth. That's all you need to wash any given day. And you can save yourself a lot of time if you just use the same brush for all of it.
Nice. That's awesome. And hands, though. George Carlin forgot about washing your hands.
He did forget about washing your hands, yeah.
6 feet apart.
It's true. All right, thanks for your time, which we have wasted. Have a good day.
Yep.
Farewell.
Can't get that time back.
See you next week.
Any copyrighted content contained within this podcast is used for purposes of review. Brainworms podcast is David Combs, Christian Schaefer, and Joseph Wells. Editing and post-production by David Combs. Art provided by Kaine Magdalen. The theme music is Hodgepod No. 1 by Brian Davis. If you like what you heard, please support us on Patreon or Ko-Fi, or by leaving a review on your favorite listening app.